GeoW hold back BRU this time. This is the third encounter here. This is circling overhead, and unfortunately, I think GeoW just not in the right position to fight this, though. They gave 2 bodies over to BRU, and now here comes the collapse. GeoW should be the end here. The vending machine has completely taken over, while Aurora somehow finds their way into this fight. GeoW never really stood a chance from the beginning.
Man, Vietnam just having it rough again. Another team from Vietnam out early in the 12th spot. EVOS Divine though up in a big fight. Once again, the Civil War. They get drawn by Vitality. Won that out up against RRQ earlier on. Now up against EVOS. It looks like it's a tougher fight. Back-to-back knocks coming on through. Final finisher. Takes out in the open. Ray with the Trogon could not get the job done. Just a little bit of panic here. Calling for backup. Buying himself a little bit more time. Takes all alone on the outside. And Twisted Minds in the meantime. Wiped out by AG Global.
Yeah, again, like you said, the infighting, the civil war of all the regions seemingly happening. And Evo decides to fall back. RQ Kazuo on the other hand. This one is a cross-region banter between them and WAG. Abai! Whoa, way out in the open. That's going to be punished by PLS1. With the blue zone closing in, Abai, there's no rescue there, so RQ have to play a 3v4. The grenades are bouncing through, but not landing, not hitting the mark. And BTR, they're lurking from behind. RQ are gonna get pincered.
Tikui up against 18 Deer, M590 in hand. Dudes is that back up. Valiant Dash breaks down the defenses, and Tikui, sharp shot. PLS1 on the follow-up. WAG overwhelms the front 2 players on the side of RRQ. Ma'al's going to be caught out now. Bigatron by Vitality attacking from the back, and RRQ out early in 10.
And WAG now have to deal with a second wave of Indonesians. He's trying to run the corner. This back has been so sharp with the VSS, but Tikui also good on that. I guess second one was the back. This guy is doing too much work for BTR. The Riptide Rhythm will force a retreat, as there's no glue out in the open. It seems like EVOS have caught a win off that conflict and are showing up. Aurora against BRU again, and while Sana gets taken down, but Moshi finds to trade a small enclosed area. Aurora slowly bleeding out. Moshi and Jonah looking to outnumber Jun. And there's no way out of this hunt. He has to fight his way out.
Yeah, the rematch here between Aurora and Buriram not ending well for the Malaysians. But Jun with the God maybe could walk away with this one. Hooked it up. Probably should focus on recovering first. Looking for the possibility to pick up Zuez as well. Jonah on the approach. Nate does not make the connection. Trip mine play by Jun. Waiting for the push. Jonah does not have the active skill that can allow him to take the rush. Moki with the backstab. But distraction by Jonah allows Moshi to put the final nail on the coffin of Aurora.
Good attempt there. The thought process was correct from Jun, but again, you're up against a team as experienced as BRU. It's going to be hard to exploit some of these loopholes and just being outnumbered. So Aurora finishing 8th, unfortunately, but decent amount of eliminations, right? 10 in the pocket as EVOS gets wiped out by Falcons as well. EVOS exiting the round with 8 points just in terms of elimination. So overall, these teams that get wiped out, at least they have some points to make up for the losses.
What a day this has been so far on our point rush. These matches have been giving and giving non-stop action, and they have been absolutely brilliant. And as great as Aurora was, as great as that run was, it's an unfortunate end for them in this lobby. But we've got 3 more games to go. So many more options for them to rise up to the top. Ooh, beautiful binocular scan potentially by Buriram over Falcons, scanning out the whole spot. PE Sports could have been the ones with that information as well, but they'll have to deal with the shots off of Flash. And this is the first game where Flash is finding that recovery for themselves.
Yeah, same as, PE. But the good news is that AG Global, they have a chance to get their second booyah here. The full team is still up and running. That could be what, separates AG Global from the rest of the pack. And I think the fans are also pretty hopeful right now because AG Global are really uncontested. Good vantage point and 2 monster trucks to work with too. So plenty of means to really navigate the map. The circle does center around BTR, and that's not really good news if you're BTR.
Sibang. Just hoping and praying. Nobody looks at him. Everybody's busy taking shots at each other. Everybody's ignoring the guy in the next circle who's camping away on the prone. Man, just hoping and praying this chaos keeps everybody busy for as long as possible. He's got the AWM to play some sort of spoiler later on. AG Global with that high ground. Two monster trucks making their way in. Straight towards Bigatron by Vitality. No, straight towards Flash. Bigatron has a shot on them. Flash, Zom with the grenade launcher. Angle does not find any connection at all. Opportunity number 2, but Barros shuts him down. Zom with the double knock. Recovery. AG Global has to back away, and Cypher taking the Valiant Dash straight up. Drops Zom, and that's a big knock. But PE Sports attacking from the back, and they will prey on Flash, wiping them off of the battlefield.
And unfortunately, in doing so, PE Sports also gets themselves eliminated.
Wow.
As the Vietnamese teams, they hold hands and go down. Now it's all an all-tie affair. Plus Sibek, who is now removed from the equation. AG Global have a chance to go for the second booyah. The Falcons can have a good chance of stopping them as well. Look at all the glue walls. Dude, what a shot there on the Pina. Russia will need to bring it back up. Red Terrorism is deployed as well. There is the Chrono Dome keeping them safe, but the Ice Grenade is gonna slow down Pina as AG Global slowly aggresses forward. Red Terrorism from the side of Falcons. Break down the defense. Here comes Pina onwards, but the glue wall from Cypher keeps them alive. Cypher now brings to it. Cypher gets all of them.
Cypher, Valiant Dash counter timed perfectly. The mistake he made earlier that almost wiped out the squad is the same move that he pulls this time, dropping those players back to back. Cypher, a final battlefield monster, fixing his mistakes and making sure he makes those amends and pays back with points he failed to take earlier.
Pays it back tenfold. An essential ace in that final confrontation. Cypher did all of the work all on his own. I think he ended the round with like 10 eliminations. Insane stuff from AG Global. 10 eliminations out of what? Like out of 13. This guy, truly a monster.
I have to say, Cypher currently has the record for the most eliminations in a game. That was on day 6, game 3. He walked away with 11 eliminations. You thought that was the best out of him. He got 10 eliminations on the first day of play, if you guys remember, on game 4, and he repeats it again. Cypher is ridiculous. You know, we were always complaining, Husky, that Dew needed some great backup. Cypher was there. The guy just woke up in the competition, man.
Yeah, I think the best part is that we said he needed someone, but it's not like they changed into someone new, right? It's the same exact players that he has been playing it for the longest of time, and they just got better and better, and they became what Dew needed. And now it's no longer whether Dew needs someone good or not. This is Twisted Minds this is AG Global at their strongest.
At their absolute strongest, the best that we saw them do last year. Global finals on Battle Royale, they got the 3rd spot. Yes, definitely dominated Clash Squad, but to see them improve so much where they could take that Clash Squad away and get so close to being the dual mode champions of the global man, that was absolutely ridiculous. AG, they just woke up in the competition, and then the best gift for them is the sniper meta that we've got on the run now. I was just a little surprised that Dew is not the biggest hitter on the squad of AG Global. It's Cypher. Cypher has been farming the lives of these other squads out there so consistently now, and he continues to do so.
Yeah, and I think this guy is one of the best rushers that we have seen, right? He's just very sharp with how he takes these fights head on. I think with the support of Barros as well, and a lot of times having Dew as the setup, it really makes his job so much easier. And when push comes to shove, Cypher is very, very reliable when you give him the right weapons.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt at all, man. And, always the Oscar, always that Valiant Dash. In a couple of situations, we have seen mistakes made by Cypher. But, mistakes are normal out there for players. How do they recover when the stakes are high? It's ridiculous that not only was he able to recover, but now the team is at an all-time high. They've got the most number of eliminations. They've got 2 booyahs so far from the past 3 games played. All Gamers Global is definitely on fire, and the most consistent squad that we've got here on Point Rush. I think placement points-wise, nobody else.
Start points heading into the grand finals, but if there's one thing that they are proving is that whether it's Point Rush or not, they're playing as if it is the grand finals, and that is what makes the team scary.
Yeah, and what's what's actually scary as well is the fact that Aurora's whooping everyone, man. Aurora doesn't care if it's Buriram. Aurora doesn't care if it's an Indonesian squad. They are taking the fight to them. The squad is so strong. They've got great placement points so far in the competition, 3 games in, and the eliminations are at an all-time high as well. When have we seen Aurora be the top 3 in eliminations? We have seen some lucky, booyahs come through for, and I'm not talking about the good old expand. The expand that, Malaysia just used to throw all of its hope on. Yeah, that squad kind of broke apart. We have got 2
It's something that we've gotten used to from other
team that's looking forward to being a esports team one day. If you've got some friends that you really love playing Free Fire with, if you guys think that, playing Free Fire with, if you guys think that, you really can get it done, you got to study the storyline of Aurora becoming what it is today, because, and they're still not champions yet. We are already hyping them up because of the
And this again, like we said, AG Global starting to pull ahead of the pack, and I think the top 3 looks very dominant so far. But for EVOS, you know, they starting to wake up. BRU as well, Distant Mice, a bit of that boo-boo in that round 3. PE Sports, the best performing Vietnamese team so far in 7th spot. Bottom 3, man, bottom 3, they gotta do something, right? 3 more rounds to bring themselves back up, to give themselves a bit of the confidence before going into tomorrow. But it is going to be hard.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that's the leaderboard. You guys have seen the action, 3 games back to back. I'm mind blown. I know you guys are entertained, but I am just super psyched with what we can expect this time around from all of these players. The game is super balanced. The meta is insane. It's bringing the best out of these long-range engagements. And it's great to see some of these squads fall back to the fact that we don't need just one sniper on our squad anymore. We got to play. We got to respect this meta. Multiple players are whipping out. You know, you've got the Winchesters on the rock. You've got those Woodpeckers whip it out as well. They're looking for those long-range engagements. And Purgatory was definitely one of the better place where they have found that. Now, we have got a little interview coming up for you guys. As you are entertained by that, Husky and I will take a short break.
Và các bạn thân mến, sau 3 trận đấu đầu tiên thì chúng ta đã có rất là nhiều những bất ngờ trong diễn biến cũng như là kết quả sau 3 trận đấu. Và một trong những nhân vật rất là đặc biệt cũng như là đại diện cho một đội tuyển đã tạo ra rất là nhiều bất ngờ và kịch tính như vậy, đó chính là Aurora Gaming. Và đứng bên cạnh Quốc Bảo đó chính là Jun, đội trưởng của Aurora Gaming.
After 3 games, we have so many amazing things happen, right? And so amazing and unpredictable. That is Jun from Aurora Gaming Malaysia teams. And now, let's start our interview.
Và ngay bây giờ chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau trò chuyện và phỏng vấn chút xíu cùng với Jun để xem ngày hôm nay tâm trạng cũng như là tinh thần của Jun như thế nào cùng với đội tuyển của mình nhá. Đầu tiên một câu hỏi dành cho Jun, đó chính là Jun có thể chia sẻ về cái tinh thần của mình và cái cảm nhận cũng như những cái sự chuẩn bị của mình có bị áp lực quá nhiều hay không, khi ngày hôm nay thì Aurora Gaming được xem là một đại diện duy nhất, chỉ là một đại diện duy nhất đến từ Malaysia xuất hiện trong vòng chung kết trong năm nay mà thôi. Điều đó có tạo nên áp lực cho mình không ạ?
Alright, so into our first questions. Being the only one representatives from Malaysia, I wonder if Jun and everyone in the team feel pressure or no.
Okay, satu-satunya wakil Malaysia dekat SEA Spring Final ni kan. Apa perasaan pasukan Aurora? Rasa tertekan ke? Rasa macam pressure ke? Apa perasaan sekarang?
Tak ada perasaan tertekan ataupun pressure. Kita orang rasa happy lah sebab dapat wakil satu-satunya ke Vietnam.
They don't feel pressure at all. They feel happy instead because they are the only representative from Malaysia. So they are very happy to be here to fight for their country.
Các bạn ấy thật sự là không hề cảm thấy áp lực một chút nào cả, mà ngược lại còn cảm thấy rất là vui và tự hào khi Aurora Gaming chính là đại diện duy nhất của Malaysia được đặt chân đến Việt Nam và ngay tại sân khấu này để thi đấu hết mình. Và tất nhiên là họ đang rất là mong muốn hướng về chức vô địch lần này của FFWS SEA 2026 Spring.
Vâng ạ, tuy là ngày hôm nay thì Aurora Gaming rất là đơn độc nhưng phong độ phải nói là cực kỳ tuyệt vời sau 3 trận đấu đầu tiên. Vậy thì các bạn có thể chia sẻ là Jun cũng như là những đồng đội của mình đã chuẩn bị những cái chiến thuật như thế nào và quan trọng là tinh thần ra sao để có thể thi đấu tốt như thế không ạ?
Alright, being a lonely wolf in everyone is so scary, right? But you guys are on peak today. So may I ask that what have you guys prepared for the game to have this perfect playstyle?
Okay, satu-satunya dalam dekat Vietnam ni kan. So macam menakutkan enggak kah? Tapi apa yang preparation atau persediaan korang buat untuk gameplay korang dalam hari ni?
Kita orang tak ada plan sangat, just lebih kepada membaca game lah. Sebab kita orang lebih prepare untuk esok bukan hari ni.
Okay, they don't really have anything any plan at all. So they just read the situation, they just act accordingly.
Wow,
Yeah.
only by reading the situations. Chứng tỏ là mọi người đã tiến bộ và thăng tiến hơn hồi trước rất là nhiều, bởi vì các bạn thực sự là không hề có bất kỳ một cái kế hoạch nào hay là một cái bài vở chiến thuật nào cả, mà đơn giản là mọi người chỉ tập trung vào giao tiếp cùng với nhau làm sao cho hiệu quả. và đọc cùng nhau những cái giao tranh hiện ra ở trong game. Từ đó mọi người sẽ biết được là mình cần phải đi bo như thế nào và cũng như là chơi ra sao.
Là một tinh thần, một chiến thuật phải nói là rất là thoải mái, rất là tự do. Vậy thì sau 3 trận đấu đầu tiên, không biết Jun cũng như là các đồng đội của mình đánh giá cao và bị ấn tượng bởi lối chơi của đối thủ nào trong vòng chung kết ngày hôm nay ạ?
Alright, so in our first partner stage today, and also after 3 games, I would like to ask about June. Which team's playstyle does he feel the most impressed?
Okay, lepas kita dah main 3 game kan, bagi kau lah, team mana atau player mana yang kau rasa playstyle dia paling bagus, paling macam menarik bagi kau lah, paling mantap kali?
Saya rasa dari tim saya sendiri kot. Dari tim luar saya tak nampak lagi.
He thinks that his team is the only one impressive in this for today's match. He doesn't think like other team so impressive to him lah.
Wait, he thinks like his team is the most impressive to himself and
Yes,
no one
correct.
else.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you're very confident. Một câu trả lời vô cùng tự tin. Các bạn ấy nghĩ rằng Aurora Gaming chính là đội tuyển nổi bật nhất ở trong lòng của Jun, và ngoài ra không có một đội tuyển nào có thể so sánh được với họ cả.
Wow, tôi rất là thích tinh thần của Jun cũng như là Aurora Gaming. Vậy thì đã tự tin như vậy rồi, mình hãy mình thử dự đoán đi. Nếu mà mình để tự dự đoán cho cả team Aurora Gaming thì sau thấu game trong ngày hôm nay thì các bạn dự đoán là mình sẽ có số điểm và thứ hạng như thế nào ạ?
Alright, so if you guys are that confident, let me hear your predictions of your ranking today.
Okay, memandangkan korang confident sangat kan, korang rasa apa ranking korang untuk hari ni match ni?
Maybe top 3 ke atas.
So he say maybe there will be top 3 for today's match.
Why
Yeah,
only
top
top
three.
3? Why only top 3?
I don't know.
Why don't dream bigger and higher?
Kenapa tak macam aim lagi tinggi?
Esok.
Oh.
Tiga-tiga esok.
So he will keep that dream for tomorrow to be on top 1 instead.
Oh,
Yeah.
very smart. Các bạn ấy dự đoán rằng là hôm nay mình sẽ đạt được top 3 thôi. Thì Yosun có hỏi rằng là tại sao các bạn chỉ nghĩ rằng là mình top 3 trong khi mà đang thi đấu rất là nổi trội, đã mơ thì phải mơ cho nó lớn đúng không? Các bạn ấy bảo rằng là hôm nay là xương top 3 như vậy thôi, còn ngày mai mới là top 1.
Yeah, rất là tự tin, nhưng mà bên cạnh đó cũng là một tinh thần cực kỳ tôn trọng đối thủ phải không ạ? Và rất là tuyệt vời. Bảo rất là thích cái tinh thần của các bạn trong ngày hôm nay, và đặc biệt là Jun. Và trước khi đến với những trận đấu tiếp theo thì Jun có muốn nhắn nhủ gì và có một vài lời đối với tất cả quý vị khán giả đang theo dõi và ủng hộ cho tất cả các đội tuyển và đặc biệt là các fan tại Malaysia không ạ?
Before we end our interview, does Jun have anything he wants to send to the viewers and also to all of the Malaysians who are following Aurora Gaming?
Okay, sebagai wakil tim Aurora kan, ada tak pesanan untuk para viewer di seluar sana dan untuk peminat-peminat Malaysia?
Pada peminat tim Aurora, teruskan sokong kita orang akan buat yang terbaik hari ini dan esok. Keep support Aurora. Kita akan champion.
Okay, he's saying that to the viewer and fans from Malaysia, right? Continue to support us. Then we will do our best and we will aim for top 1 tomorrow. Yeah.
Is that a promise?
Itu satu janji tak?
Janji.
It's a promise.
It's a promise.
Yes.
Cảm ơn tất cả mọi người vì đã luôn theo dõi và ủng hộ cho Aurora Gaming, và hãy tiếp tục ủng hộ cho tụi mình ở 3 game thi đấu tiếp theo và cũng như ngày mai. Và với lời hứa chắc chắn đến từ tụi mình rằng tụi mình sẽ giành được chức vô địch vào ngày thi đấu ngày mai.
Vâng xin được cảm ơn Jun với những chia sẻ vừa rồi rất là nhiều. Chúc cho Jun cùng với đồng đội của mình và tất cả những đội tuyển khác sẽ tiếp tục giữ vững phong độ của mình và tự tin nhiều hơn nữa để chuẩn bị đến với những game tiếp theo. Còn bây giờ thì xin mời tất cả các bạn sẽ quay trở lại khu vực của bàn caster.
Thank you Jun so much, and we hope that you guys can continue keeping this fire up ahead so you guys can play better and better in the next 3 games. And now, thank you so much for your listening. Let's head back to the casters.
Man, dealing with Buriram seems to be easier than dealing with these questions that Yoon Sul is throwing at this guy, man. I mean, Jun's already had enough battles out there on the battlefield, but I think he handled them fairly well. Very confident from the Malaysian. He thinks he'll be in the top 3 by the end of the day. Well, it's halfway through the day, and he is on the top 3. So all they need to do is just repeat whatever they did in the first 3 matches. Consistency has been mind-blowing so far, Husky, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and he also said that, he's just happy to represent Malaysia, and a big chunk of what they have prepped is actually beyond Point Rush, right? They're prepping for the grand finals, and that's confidence as well. And I think the cherry on top is him saying that when Yunso asks, why aren't you dreaming bigger, he says, I keep the big dreams for the finals.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
means that the trophy, it's going to be a hard battle still, but again, they've made it this far. I think they can go further, and this is the best we've seen for a Malaysian team do in 4 years since the last FFWS finals in Bangkok, Thailand. And it might come full circle, right? We're having it in, at the end of the year, we're going to have that as well. But for now, is the ticket to Paris, and I think Aurora has half their foot through the door.
I wonder, right? Because they definitely slimmed down the squad in many ways. They are very different from what they used to be. Expand last time, now Aurora. They were Wamos just before they got acquired, and these boys have definitely been gearing up well. Will the Malaysians make it to the Esports World Cup this time? Instead of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, we are flying over to Paris, France, July 15th to the 18th. You mark your calendars. If you can't be there in person, you join us online, because the action will definitely be mind-blowing. You think this Southeast Asian lobby is hot? You have not seen anything just yet. The current meta mixed with the global squads, so many regions, I think it's going to be absolute chaos.
I'm so excited to see some of the newer regions, right? Especially USA, right? This is going to be the very first time we see them, and the first time we see them is going to be in Paris. So, and it only keeps getting bigger, right? We still have South Asia, which, is slowly being integrated back as well. It only gets better from here on out, and I think that's what the fans wanted. A lot of our fans have been very loyal. They come in every single live stream across multiple years.
Yeah.
Your wish is slowly being granted over time, and who knows, maybe one day we will get to see that as a constant. But for now, you have to admit, Southeast Asia is still one of the best regions in the world, after ahead of Brazil, and that's why we keep on being competitive.
Absolutely. I think the teams that are in Southeast Asia are definitely blessed. Vietnam doesn't feel very blessed right now, because not only are we in Southeast Asia, we are in their hometown. We are in Ho Chi Minh City, and this is where the Point Rush and Grand Finals will take place. And the home ground buff is not buffing right now. PE Sports, Gao, Secret WHE, and Team Flash definitely can do with a big boost in the coming games, especially Flash. They are dead at the bottom.
Yeah, they have not found anything at all. Game 1 and 2 was a given. They really didn't get to do anything. But even Game 3, they went into top 5, but it was a very passive game, right? They didn't get much eliminations, and they were solely surviving off of placement points. And that's 3 rounds essentially burned for Team Flash. So to get into a spot where you can even get some crumbs of the head start points is already a tall task.
Yeah.
But good thing is that they have 3 more rounds to do it, and we did have a bit of an extended break due to that the half match, the halftime interview. So let's see if they can bounce back from that.
Absolutely, man. And it's surprising that Buriram United Esports is nowhere near the top 3 right now. They're quite far away from All Gamers Global. They need about a 30-pointer game in order to catch up. Thank you very much, production, for pulling up the overall leaderboard. Buriram's going to need about 30 points to jump over AG Global. In the next 3 games, can they get a 30-point surplus to walk away with the extra 10 points? But even if they don't, just because teams don't perform at Point Rush doesn't mean that they cannot perform on the Grand Finals day, Husky.
And that is, again, has been proven. We sound like a broken record, but history has proven that Onyx Olympus, they did it last time.
Yeah.
But this time, there are still chances for repeat champions. Falcons have won before, BRU has won before, but the other 10 teams, they're still hungry for it. They're still hungry to get that spring season trophy. If we put aside the fact that RQ technically won the inaugural one of the new format, I think last year, there is a pretty very pool of players who are out for blood.
Yeah, no doubt at all, man. In fact, actually, Buriram has never won a Sea Spring event before. They've won Sea Fall. The best they have gotten on Sea Spring is the podium finish. They were the runner-up in 2025, and they were in the 3rd spot in 2024. They want to make it their year this year. but it is looking like the competition is rough. Buriram far away from looking like champions right now. But I don't know, some mini fan in me is still thinking that the 3-time world champs are going to wake up anytime and just walk over every other squad out there. But, you know, there's been a big shift in how they're rotating out there on the battlefield recently.
Yeah, and I think, you know, again, this is proof that teams are getting better, they're improving, and, you know, this is by no means saying that BRU is not the best team. They are still one of the best we have. No other team in the world has won 3 World Series. But because of them setting that standard, teams work harder, they catch up, BRU raises the bar, and everyone else, you know, keeps on trying to meet that standard. And I've longed for the day where we can, you know, when everyone, BRU fans might disagree with me, this is controversial to them, but I long for the day where everyone can just, you know, unanimously agree that BRU doesn't have to win the tournament to say that they are the best. They've already done that. Everything else, I think, from this point onwards, it feels like a side quest to see how long they can maintain that dominance. But other teams getting better is also a sign that BRU was one of the best teams we have, is one of the best teams that we have.
Yeah, BRU no longer needs to set the bar. BRU is the bar. Everybody's looking to do better than the best team in the world. And in terms of stats, in terms of numbers, in terms of leaderboard, at the moment it's being done. In terms of team history and the legendary run, nobody has come close enough to what Buriram has. Not only are they 3-time world champs, they're also 2-time runner-up. That's insane, man. To almost be 5-time world champs. Who can say that? These guys are ridiculous in the consistency. They've been the gods of Free Fire for a long, long time. And Southeast Asia has definitely seen a lot of motivation within their own individual regions within Southeast Asia, all thanks to Buriram. I mean, Thailand is a very hot lobby. Vietnam, the recent ones that woke up, are looking to be dominant and one of the big players in Southeast Asia. Well, at least until this point rush, because man, they are getting beaten down.
Yeah, they are getting completely ran through, and sadly, by all the other teams. And again, the only one team has been able to, you know, sort of take that beating and convert it into something, and I believe that is PE Sports. But it's quite a low bar. Right? We need to see more than that.
Yeah.
The highest point that the Vietnamese teams has gotten up to this point is 17. The highest points we have is more than 60, so
Yeah.
there's quite a gap there. We'll see if they can at least make it to top 8. I think top 8 is a decent enough goal to strive for, at least for the other 3 at the very bottom. They haven't really put up a fight that I think we can say impressive just yet.
Yeah, man. PE Sports is actually the best Vietnamese team that we've got in the running right now. They've been so much more consistent in terms of their plays through eliminations as well as placement points. And Team Flash is literally down at the bottom of our leaderboard. They have got 6 placement points from 3 games and only 2 eliminations over those 3 games. That is horrendous in terms of numbers for a squad that was stomping on the final week. I mean, Flash definitely showed us that they had exactly what it takes to not just make it here but to dominate, but it's just not showing up on Point Rush.
It's going to be a tall order overall, but I think, you know, for the Thais, they've done this plenty of times. And I think it's also pretty impressive that these players, they hang around, and, you know, they hang around after so many seasons of not hoisting the trophy, which is the ultimate goal, and yet they still hang around, they fight for another year. And I think it's also the reason that we are not seeing too much of that influxes of new names into the teams, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It ended up creating more academy squads that have shown that they have what it takes. Like ABD is a very, very good example, and that's a team that I want to see in the fall season, and hopefully, you know, next year they will be good enough to qualify to a finals. But for now, it's still these veterans, it's still these old dogs that have been too good for everyone else.
Dude, I mean, thanks for bringing up ABD, because that allows me to talk about India a little bit. We had the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational. That's an official tournament, okay? We've had 2 seasons so far. The previous season, Avida XKDC walked away as the dual mode champions. They whooped everybody's butts clean on both BR and Clash squad. And what did they do on the Southeast Asian leg? they could barely make a run in here, right? They did well to qualify, out of the Thai squads. They were one of the best. But on the Southeast Asian leg, they could not get as far into the grand final. So, lots of Indian fans have been waiting for India to be on that world stage. But we've kind of gotten a preview with a team that couldn't make the cut into the grand finals of Southeast Asia. India definitely has a lot of catching up to do. Thankfully, they've got a little bit of time. I mean, after a long, long time, Free Fire Max, we are back in action. And I think this is the moment where they can all look at what's happening through Southeast Asia on the global stage, EWC, global finals. And I don't think it's going to be too long before we see them make a play as well soon enough.
Yeah, even like back in 2022, we got a preview of what that region has to offer. Like, was it like Revenant Esports, right? They would play in like South Asia played in our MCP League spring season for one season, and we got a good preview of what that's like. But then there's like this 3-4 year gap in between, so it's going to take a while for them to restart everything. But at least the ecosystem, the foundations have been laid out. There's better support. So they have some catching up to do, but I think at least they don't have to worry about whether this is going to be stopped in its tracks, right? They have a clear blueprint forward.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think, the Indian squads have a lot of promise, just unproven just yet. And of course, we want to see more out of them. I want to see more, not just the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational, but a lot more of these Indian tournaments, because they need that practice ground. They need to really hustle. They need to fight amongst each other for quite a little bit first, up against all the South Asian teams, to really see if or not they can measure up, because Southeast Asia has been playing this on another level. Granted, they've been playing it much, much longer professionally and dominating out there. But the meta, as far as that goes, I think Southeast Asia really has got a good hand on this. In the past, we didn't really see a lot of experimentation out of Southeast Asia. Now, you don't just see the big teams doing it. Everybody is trying to find their best fit out there.
Yeah, back then I think what separates a good and a great team is just how good they are when the 4v4 happens.
Yep.
Now we're looking at a lot of like macro, like decision makings, but the irony is that what separates a good region from a great region is still who shoots better. So that's something that everyone else can work on. Now we're gonna head into game number 4 and see if the Vietnamese teams can finally recover after an extended break.
Yeah, absolutely, man. As we gear up for this next match, it's gonna be a battle to see if or not Vietnam can find a little bit of recovery. We're heading into the good old Bermuda, so y'all better strap in, because everybody out there in this lobby knows this map like the back of their hands. But are they going to be blessed with a decent flight path? Yes, they are. Nothing standing in their way except themselves and maybe someone who wants to take them out early.
The theme of today so far has been good flight path, horrible circle, right? Circle that really forces you to play at your best, and I like it, right? Taking home prisoners and making sure that the teams actually know what they're doing and they come in with the right knowledge and preparation. Peak's gonna go to BRU as always, and it seems like there is a bit of a hot drop here. Koja gets the first shot, immediately pings out the rest of Twisted Minds. And not finding any knockdown though. The Skylar retired, not really running in the direction that they wanted to, so Koja and Deke both end up getting traded out despite BTR getting the first shot, and that has got to hurt. Joe will have to salvage it, but Diamond makes it impossible. BTR ends up losing 3. They have to now play from behind.
Sibang far away and has got enough coins to bring the team members back. Question is, can he get to the vending machine? Moshi's not too far away from Sibang. He spots him out in the open, and the Moss stealth bite's already used. Twisted Minds will get a hit list onto the Buriram player Wasana. And as Kochil rotates away looking for the vending machine at Bima Sakti Strip, Gao is going to be spotting him out. And this is a little bit of a risky play here for Kochil, but he's going to take the fight up against Gao.
I'm going to run straight in and see if he can at least get a point for himself. Apex is right there within, but that nade from Gray, good connection on the rebound. That's going to be the first point. Actually, a trade does come through as well. Gochu gets subbed in from GOW, finds himself something, but still not enough for GOW. So they end up losing 3 members, only having 1 survivor.
He was with 3 points early game. Bigatron by Vitality on the revival, making their way back in here, one after the other. Full squad pull back in. Gao needs to find a spot to recover in a little bit as well. Too far down the leaderboard. Flash on the recovery play. Up against Falcons, not looking like an easy fight here. The God is flying in as well. Flash is not backing away from this battle. They're flying straight at Falcons, and Falcons having a field day here. Easy knockdowns. The God now up on top. M82B in hand. Falcons are too far away from the vending machine.
And the question is, why would Flash make that decision? It seems so odd that the call is to take that fight when they are already at a disadvantage, and now that allows the Falcons to just chase them down. The God definitely going to be sent to meet his maker after that exchange. Falcons with 3 points, Flash down to their last.
The God is taken out of the equation a tad bit too early here. Flash does have one more survivor. Easy revival coming on through. They get done by Vitality on their head. It looks like they are once again added at the Civil War. Earlier RRQ, then EVOS, now again EVOS. They are out to get their own brothers here.
Let's see, BTR, at least they get that